Good afternoon, Oak Grove. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another installment of our midweek content series here on the church's social media channels, where I just pop in to say hi in the middle of the week so that we're thinking about our church family in the middle of the week and remembering that they're still out there and they're still praying for us and we're still a part of that family of God, even in the other 6.5 days of the week outside of Sunday morning. So thank you for taking a few minutes to visit with me today. What am I going to talk with you all about today? Well, this morning, I had another appointment with my spiritual director. I can't remember if I've talked about him before on this channel. I might have. And if I have, and if you tuned in for that, well, I guess you're hearing it again. Those of you who hear my preaching every week know that I'm good at repeating myself. So I may have talked about him before, but I can't remember for sure if I did. I have been regularly seeing a spiritual director for over 2 years now. I started while I was on my pastoral internship at Trinity Lutheran Church in Butler. My supervisor up there, Pastor Joel Benson, strongly recommended that I begin seeing a spiritual director, and it has been working out very well for me. And every time I leave his home, I leave feeling refreshed, and he gives me new perspectives on things that I had not considered before. What is a spiritual director, for those of you who are not aware? Well, a spiritual director is kind of like a pastor, but not really. He's not ordained. And he's kind of like a therapist, but not really. He doesn't have a degree in psychology. He doesn't have a degree in theology, but he does have a certification training. He takes a training program for spiritual direction. What he does is you sit and you talk to him, kind of like talking to a therapist. You tell him about the events of your life. You tell him about the things that have been going on. And he helps you to reflect, where was God and where was the grace in the things that happen in your life? And sometimes his or her perspective helps you see where maybe God was present in the times that you weren't looking for God or weren't expecting to find God. And your spiritual director also helps to direct your prayer life. He or she can help you rejuvenate your prayer life, help you find new ways to pray that you may not have thought to do so before. So I'm just sharing that with you. That's really all I've got for you this week. I don't have a particular current breaking event going on in the church to update you on, but I just wanted to plug the services of spiritual direction. And if there's anybody watching this who would be interested in seeing a spiritual director, I'd be happy to refer one to you. There's the gentleman that I see, and his wife is also a spiritual director. And I also know a woman at Trinity Butler who is also certified in the program that I could recommend you to as well. So I know a few of them I could refer you to if anyone would like to see one. It is different than seeing a pastor. It is different than coming and talking to me. I could talk to you a little bit about your prayer life, but they are certified to do so in a way that is so much more deep and profound than I might take you. They really take you through a journey in your own spiritual mysticism, in your own walk with God. So you can, this is definitely something that you do want a professional to walk with you for part of the path. It shouldn't be something you try to do too much on your own, but you can get a little bit of the same experience, though, by ending every day of your life by reflecting on the events of the day and saying to yourself, in everything that happened to me, where was the grace? There's grace to be found in everything, somehow. With the good things that happen to us, the things that make us smile, the happy memories that we make each day of our lives, it's easy to see where God is in those. But even if your day included interpersonal conflict with someone else, even if your day was lousy, even if your day included tragedy, grief, loss, suffering, there's probably some way to find some kind of grace that came out of it. You know, maybe I fought with somebody today, but the grace could come in the fact that I learned more about myself. Maybe I reflect on the fight and realize, maybe I was wrong. Maybe the other person had a good point. Sometimes interpersonal conflict causes us to then be closer to the person after we fought with them and then after we reconcile than we were before we fought. And so there's almost always a grace to be found. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go down and say there's always a grace to be found in the events of our lives. However, if particularly bad things happen to us, if we've just had a really rotten day filled with loss and tragedy and hardship, it can be much harder on those days than others to see where was God and where was the grace. And so that's something your spiritual director could help you with. And so that's all. I just wanted to share with you, plug the services of a spiritual director. And in closing, I finished my session with him today by talking a little bit about what my prayers have been like lately. And I've shared with him many times before that I typically model my prayers based on the structure of the Lord's Prayer. You know, Jesus gave us this prayer to teach us how to pray, but we shouldn't just use the Lord's Prayer word for word as something we babble off without thinking about it. We use it as a template to build our own prayers, right? Well, I've talked to my spiritual director about that many times in the past, and a little trick he gave me today was he said, have you ever considered praying the Lord's Prayer backwards? And I laughed out loud and said, no, that's never occurred to me before. So consider the words as we say them backwards. Deliver us from evil and lead us not into temptation. As we forgive those who trespass against us, forgive us our trespasses. Give us this day our daily bread. As it is in heaven, on earth, your will be done. Your kingdom come. Holy is your name. You are in heaven, our Father. Isn't that cool? That is incredibly cool. So that's just one of the ways that a spiritual director can kind of take your prayers and shake them up a little bit. I'm going to be pondering this for days and maybe weeks now that he's given it to me. So that's just a little plug for something that has helped me, that maybe might help some of you. If you would like to be connected to a spiritual director, let me know and I could refer some folks. That's all I've got for you this week, Oak Grove. I don't like to do announcements on this channel because I don't want it to just turn into weekly announcements. You're capable of reading the announcements. But one thing I do want to call to your attention, folks with kiddos, please do note we are doing the blessing of the backpacks at worship this week. So it would be great if as many kids as possible can come to worship and bring your backpacks so that we can bless those and we have a little gift for each of you. That's all I've got, Oak Grove. Have a wonderful week and I'll see you on Sunday. Take care.